And yeah, explicitly, he'd take real estate as collateral. That was no problem for him. Trump's lawyers apparently never told the court that this guy had offered to post the bond. In fact, they told the court that no one would post this bond. The appeals court, apparently believing that no one would post the bond, then lowered the bond, lowered it down to $175 million, which, ta-da, was then covered by this guy who had already offered to put up the much larger amount, even though the court was told by Trump's lawyers that no one would do that. What did Trump have to do to be the recipient of such generosity from a man who, after all, is not that generous? A man who, after all, would threaten illegally to lock you up for missing a car payment, according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, whose bank charged a Harlem soul food restaurant 268% interest on their business loan. A guy who demanded daily payments from a small business in Massachusetts that he was charging over 90% interest to, right? This does not seem like a guy who's involved in a lot of super generous business dealings. What's he charging Trump for this $175 million favor? Reuters, quote, Don Hankey, the billionaire businessman whose company provided the $175 million bond that Trump posted in his New York civil fraud case, told Reuters that the fee his firm charged the former U.S. president for the bond was, quote, low. Hankey declined to disclose the fee. Lawyers say surety companies typically charge a fee of between 1% and 2% of the face value of the bond, which in this case would mean his fee should have been somewhere between $1.75 and $3 million. Quote, Hankey says he now feels his company did not charge Trump enough. Why does he feel that way? Quote, because of the New York Attorney General's subsequent scrutiny of the bond, as well as all of the media attention around it. Hankey said in an interview with Reuters, quote, we probably didn't charge enough. Didn't charge him enough for the $175 million bond? You know what you could do? You could call Trump and pretend to be a pizza place. Ask him where he is so he can get his free pizza, then send a repo man to go take it from him. Or something. So none of this is a secret or hard to find, right? There has been incredible reporting on this story. Just tonight, we've used reporting from NBC News and the New York Times and the Associated Press and Rolling Stone and ProPublica. That incredible quote I just mentioned is from Reuters. This stuff is known, and the guy who is behind all of these hundreds of millions of dollars being shoveled to Trump in his time of need has been happy to do interviews about how happy he is to do this. And certainly there is a disturbance in the cosmos to have a man whose company was sued by the Justice Department for charging illegally high interest rates to active duty members of the U.S. military and illegally repossessing soldiers' cars so he could become a billionaire. There is a disturbance in the cosmos that same guy is now volunteering to a news organization. Yeah, it was a real low fee I charged him for this most recent $175 million favor I posted for him. After I already shoveled him, after me and these entities with which I'm associated already shoveled him more than $400 million before this. Yeah, I didn't charge him much. Why should I? Maybe should have charged him a little more. There is something that blots out the sun in that story. Except not in a way that makes you appreciate the wonders of the universe. It makes you want to pound nails into something with your forehead if you're like me. But as mentioned there in that Reuters story, this is also now not just a news story, it is a legal story and a legal question. Because this bond, this remarkable gift from this incredible company, is how Trump is avoiding potential bankruptcy. It's how Trump is avoiding potentially having to sign over his bank accounts and his brokerage accounts and selling off his assets just 1 week before he becomes a defendant in his first criminal trial. The New York Attorney General's office has called for the court to scrutinize this gift, this bond, and has called on the company that provided it to justify it. Just, cosmically, ethically, this is a heck of an on-ramp to the would-be next Republican presidential administration. Legally, though, will it stand, and how will that be determined?